Hello. These are 5 of the most bizarre, fucked up true crime stories I've ever heard. Starting off my countdown, number 5, with Jerry Brutos, aka the shoe fetish killer. Not only did Mr. Clean let himself go a little bit, but also between the years of 1968 and 1969, he is responsible for the deaths of at least 4 women. All of his victims were either bludgeoned or strangled. He also admitted that after he murdered them, some of them he did perform sexual acts on their dead bodies. Also, when he dismembered them, he kept one of their feet to model his high heel shoes that he kept around the house, and he would cut their breasts off and make molds of them. Coming in at number 4 with Robert Berella Jr, aka the Kansas City Butcher. Look, not only does this man have the serial killer mustache, but he is also wearing the iconic serial killer glasses along with the receding hairline for his serial killer kit. Between the years of 84 and 87, this man was responsible for the kidnapping, torture, rape, and murder of at least 6 men in Missouri. He kept a very detailed log of all of the things that he did to his victims. He would even put abbreviations for different types of torture. For example, if you saw the abbreviation DC next to a victim's name, that wasn't for comics. That meant that he would take drain cleaner and swab it in the victim's eyes or inject it into their vocal cords. Coming in at number 3 with this lovely lady, Lisa Montgomery. On December 16th, 2004, Lisa entered the home of Bobby Joe, who was 23 years old and 8 months pregnant at the time. Once inside, she proceeded to strangle Bobby Joe, and then she cut her fucking belly open and removed the baby. It turned out that Lisa had been lying to her husband and told him that she had been pregnant so he wouldn't leave her. Then she found Bobby Joe, who she saw was pregnant, and she decided to befriend her under a false name. She took the baby home and tried to pass it off as her own and told her husband that she went into labor and shit the baby out by herself without even letting him know. Authorities found this woman and the baby and returned the baby back to its family. The Papen Sisters. On February 2nd, 1933, the Papen Sisters not only killed their employer's wife, but also his daughter. And not only did they kill them, but they removed their eyeballs before they died. They then killed them with a knife and a hammer. After they were locked up in a nut hut or in a jail cell, I'm not really sure. I don't really remember right now. Don't really care. But anyways, the Papen Sisters started fucking papping their own goddamn eyeballs out. And I'm not kidding. Like, they literally removed their own eyeball. Like, you know, that. Finishing off our countdown and coming in at number 1 with Carl Tinzler, aka Count Carl Von CLE. Carl was a German technologist who lived in Florida and became obsessed with one of his patients that had tuberculosis. This is said patient. Her name is Elena, and she unfortunately passed away in 1931. Carl was so heartbroken that 2 years later in 1933, he snuck into the cemetery and removed her remains and took them back home with him. The body had decayed some, so Carl had to improvise, and he put her bones together and held it in place with piano wire. Then he took velvet and put it over the skeletal system to pull it off to make it look like skin. Then he stuffed the insides with rags to make it look like organs and, you know, form a body, and then put glass eyes in her head. This is what he did. This is real. This is really it. Like, he slept next to this body. Day in and day out, he was next to this body. He did everything with this body for 7 years. It was even reported that he would dance with this corpse in front of the big window in his living room. All right, true crime friends, that is my list. So if you could, just tell me down in the comments what are some of the most bizarre cases that you have ever heard of.